Why study in Rome?
Why study in Rome?
Why study in Rome?
I only decided to study in Rome because a friend asked me if I would go with her. I had no intention of studying abroad through my college experience, but then I was just going along with it, and then there I was in Italy actually doing it.
I really became interested the more and more I learned about how incredible Rome's campus was, and Assumption being directly involved with it. It made it that much more easy to take the classes over there, having credits transfer. And it really was a place that I wasn't originally on my radar, but once I learned more about some of the incredible history of Italy and just Rome in general, I couldn't just think of anywhere better to study abroad.
A day in Rome was, we would wake up, have some of Chef Monica's breakfast. We would take the train into the center of Rome for Italian school, and then we would grab lunch, we would go off to theology, and we would go into churches or museums and just learn about the history of Rome, and then we would come back, do homework together, have one of our family dinners every night by Chef Monica, and then after that we would just spend time together doing homework or doing something fun.
I think my favorite memory from my time in Rome was the first time that a native speaker couldn't tell that I was a foreign speaker. So I was at a restaurant and I went through the whole seating process, the whole ordering process, and the first time they realized that I was from the United States was when they had to see my vaccination card. And so that's when the waitress said to me, "Oh, degli Stati Uniti," meaning from the United States. And so that was kind of a nice comment to my proficiency in the language.
Some of my best memories were definitely at the 7:30 dinners, where we would all sit down with Chef Monica's meals and we would have a family-style dinner. So we would talk about the day, talk about our travels, and everything that we were learning and going to.
The relationships that you build with your peers had to be one of the highlights. I mean, towards the end of the trip, we truly were a family, and I think that's not something that you're always going to get, especially with a group of kids at school that you may not know well before, but after the 3 months, after the journey that you guys have all gone on together, it's impossible to not feel like a family.
Semester in Rome is much different from a semester in Worcester. I think in Rome we had the opportunity to have more independence, and one thing that I really loved about studying in Rome was the city was really your classroom. So on Monday we would learn about a painting or a sculpture, for example, and then on Wednesday we would go to a museum and get to see that very painting or sculpture that we were talking about. Whereas in Worcester, the same opportunities don't really exist.
I definitely grew as a person. I am way more independent now than I was before I went.
I would always say this while I was there. It made me so much more grateful for my life at home and being there, being able to get that opportunity. I was just so grateful to be there. And I became less of a picky eater, so that was a plus.
Just having to be a person in a place that's completely foreign to you and in a completely new environment is something you can't get just going to college in the United States.
It seemed like the entire trip we were there was traveling. We definitely got to explore all of Rome, and I felt like I really did get to see everything, but we definitely took advantage of our time over in Europe and got to see, one of my biggest things was trying to see all of Italy. So I got to see some of the major cities over there. We went to Venice, Milan, Siena, Florence, Naples, Positano, Capri. So we definitely got to explore all of Italy, but not even just that. We were able to do 2 class trips with our professors where we actually went with all my classmates, and we were able to go together and see museums. We went to some famous places. It was very incredible.
I was close to not going at all, but Carrie LeBlanc had one of his former students call me and asked me about everything that I was worried about and explained more how the program works and how they take care of you, and it really eased my worries, and I'm so glad that I ended up going, even though I was still really scared too.
I did have a challenge. I am a student athlete, so that was definitely kind of a concern while applying. But I found out that 3 of my teammates were also studying abroad with me, so I was might as well do it. And Assumption provides us with a gym pass, so we were able to get our trainings in, and I think it worked out like for the better.
I would absolutely recommend spending a semester in Rome because you have nothing to lose. This is an opportunity, and once in a lifetime opportunity for many of you.
I couldn't have been happier because I did grow, I became independent, I learned skills that I didn't have over here. So if you're someone who thinks that you can't study abroad or you're not the type of person to study abroad, don't let that stop you because you should try to go anyway.
I would just say that it was a pretty unique experience. It was pretty life-changing for me in a sense, and I know that sounds cliche, but it just was an experience that let me learn a lot about myself, and I made connections with the people around me and memories that I'm never gonna forget.
To pass up such an amazing opportunity would be, in my opinion, something that I would have regretted. And I think that if you have the chance and the opportunity to do so, even if it's the slightest inclination, I think you should go for it. And I think that the only thing that you have to worry about is the feeling you'll get after you come back, because you'll want to go back so badly.
Why study in Rome?
Because no 2 days are alike.
It's truly life-changing.
Every day's an adventure.
There's simply things in Rome that you can't get in Worcester.
Because it's a vacation that doesn't end.
To find who you are and who God created you to be.
Because it's a gateway to an excellent experience.
Why study in Rome? Because it'll change your life.
Why wouldn't you?